The state is harming the very children it is designed to protect. So that was a message from the child welfare providers concerned about a funding gap that has caused a drastic cut in services.
Senior investigator Rebecca Lindstrom says several providers told lawmakers today our child welfare system is at the risk of collapse.
I know that sounds dramatic, but it is an alarm the head of the agency also echoed. Lawmakers heard testimony for nearly 5 hours on the impacts of an $85 million gap in the state's child welfare budget. To save money, the Department of Family and Children Services created a new approval process for many services. It is a process providers say is not working. One provider testified they normally handle 300 to 500 cases each month, but since November, it has served 5. These are services as simple as transportation for a child to a doctor's appointment or visit with their parents, all the way to mental health services for complex behavioral and mental health needs. Lawmakers passed a number of these new services to help families with children that were otherwise being abandoned to state custody and in some cases housed in hotels. Now, the head of DFAC said while the number of children in foster care has remained stable, the severity of the needs has skyrocketed, compounded by more than $300 million in federal funds that were withheld until this week.
Now everyone knows with certainty how badly the child welfare system needs help. If you feel any anger or disappointment about how this situation has panned out, it is not the fault of DFACS workers or our providers. Absolutely put that blame on me. But I am being forced to make decisions that nobody wants to make.
Some emotional statements there from Commissioner Brose. She said she's having to compare the needs of children against each other to determine which she can cover. Providers testified today they have already laid off workers and cut the number of children they serve. Others said they haven't been paid for services since August. Lawmakers questioned why the governor isn't using the state's $14 billion budget surplus to help with this problem. We have reached out to the governor's office for comment.